All right, VandySports.com. We're back. Sean Williams here with Justin Angel. Our 2021 recruiting class recap continues. This time we are going to focus on the linebacker group, which features three signees. As you can see on the screen, Michael Mincey, Errington Truesdell, and Miles Capers. We'll be talking a little bit more in depth about those guys with our man Justin Angel here. And obviously, VandySports.com. That's where you can find all the information on Commodores football, basketball, and baseball news, as well as recruiting. And please like our YouTube channel. Hit the like button, hit the notification button. That will notification button will let you know when anytime our new videos drop. You can watch them at any time at your convenience. So please do that. We would really appreciate that. And with that being said, we'll flip the screen and we'll talk about the linebacker class for 2021 for Vanderbilt. We'll kind of go in reverse order here, I guess, a little bit, and we'll first talk about Michael Mincey. Big commitment for Vanderbilt back in September, and like I said, 3-star prospect. They ran on him for quite a while, and kind of left people sweating a little bit in terms of with the coaching transition and Mason leaving and Clark Lee coming in. Whether he would sign with Vanderbilt or not. He didn't sign the early signing period in December and instead waited until February. I know he had a good conversation with Lee before the early signing period, but he did just want to wait until February. And ironically enough, the school we kept hearing that might try to flip him was Auburn. And that's where Derek Mason, the former Vanderbilt head coach, is now the defensive coordinator. Don't think that went too far, really. Heard that Mason was pretty adamant about not trying to poach any of Vanderbilt's commitments, and I don't know if there was a lot of back and forth between Mincey and the coaches there at Auburn, but definitely one I think Vanderbilt fans were kind of sweating to see if he would actually sign, and he actually did in February, and so that was a big get. We look at Mincey's. Obviously had 7 offers according to Rivals, and you go down here and look at the list. Had some SEC offers from South Carolina, Mississippi State, and obviously had some interest there from Auburn late. So Georgia Southern, a good program there too. Javon Hay was kind of involved in this one, so with Mincey. So another win for Javon Hay. Let's just say last year, we've talked about this before, me and Justin. You can kind of give that recruiting award in terms of assistance to either Javon Hay or Peter Rosamondo. Which one would you give it to, Justin?
I would go Javon Hay.
Is that just because he's still on staff?
No, that is not because he's still on staff. To do what he did, defensive line recruiting at Vanderbilt, I mean, that's extremely impressive. I mean, we'll add guys like Mincey, but Vanderbilt's going to recruit linebackers, for the most part, throughout history pretty well. But, to bring that amount of defensive talent that he brought in as far as along the front, that's really impressive.
Yeah, we talked about that in the defensive line recap. Just an impressive class, defensive line-wise, for Vanderbilt in 2021 to sign 5 guys along the defensive lines. Not really something that they do a lot, at least not while I've been covering them. So to have that kind of quality and depth, pretty significant for Vanderbilt. But we'll refocus our efforts here on linebackers, and we'll talk a little bit more about Michael Mincey. We'll bring up his huddle highlights here, and we'll get some insight here from Justin Angel. I'll press play. Justin, tell me what you like about Michael Mincey's film here. This is his junior highlights, by the way, so anyone out there wondering, he doesn't have a senior highlight chop up where we can kind of see where he is before the play, so we're going to kind of refer back to his junior highlights here. Justin, what do you like about Michael here?
Well, when you watch him, he's playing the inside linebacker of a 3-3 defense, and typically when people run stacks and stuff like that, it's usually hard to get to those linebackers. That's why they do it. It takes away all of your natural double teams and throws off your angles for offensive linemen. So as I'm saying here, I absolutely hate that defense that they're in right there. Okay. All right. But it's working out good for them there. That's why people run that. But Menzie is more of a, he's more of an in the box type guy. If you watch him here, he's more of a tackle to tackle type. The one thing I do like about him is he does a really good job of shedding offensive linemen, and he brings a lot of force, gets those guys off of him, and then there he goes, and then you can see some of the flashes there of him working in space and doing those things. You just don't really see a whole lot of it. Most of it's inside the box doing those type, but you can see the athleticism, how he moves. And Vanderbilt really is in need of some linebacker play. Just going into last year, me and you've talked about it. If you'd said, Ethan Barr is going to end up being the most productive linebacker they have, before the season, they would have called us crazy, But you see people, Mincey and some of those coming in here, I think that they're going to have a shot to get some early playing time.
Yeah, no doubt. I was going to ask you about that, but you kind of answered the question there. Obviously a lot of opportunities at linebacker for Vanderbilt for anybody that's coming in this class. So you kind of maybe see him potentially making a way on the field as a freshman. I think
Right, and something else too is, Clark Layton, he's a linebackers guy. That's his position. That's something he's going to pay a whole lot of attention to. He's already brought up, that he thinks that, that's the mainstay of the defense. Is what it runs through. So those guys coming in, getting to learn from him, picking up on the things that he wants them to do, not having to get out of bad habits and those things is definitely going to help those guys out that are coming in.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So good pickup there for Mincey, and like I said, was able to hold on to him too, and kind of got some insight. Just this initial conversation with Clark Lee before the first signing day in December. That conversation went really well, and he seemed pretty excited that he was going to be a Commodore. But obviously, you had the Auburn rumors kind of going out there, and was kind of curious to see where that went. But he ended up sticking with Vanderbilt. So we're going to move on to Errington Truesdell. Justin, I know you like this guy, man.
I'm excited about Truesdale.
Yeah,
Yes, I really, really like his film.
obviously, yeah, we'll get to that. I mean, I'm excited about him too. I mean, when he first kind of popped up and you looked at his film, insane. I mean, his highlight film is pretty insane. And we talked about it before we hit record. Surprised he doesn't have a lot more Power Five offers. He had some Power Five schools really showing him a lot of interest. He had Wake Forest. I mean, that was kind of like his big school, kind of heading into the season here. And Vanderbilt really liked his film, put out like his midseason highlights and the game film that was coming out every week, and they jumped in on him and they ended up getting him. And yeah, just look at his offers, 35 offers. I mean, he's super talented. Look at all those MAC offers, Conference USA, Ivy League, Liberty. So he had a ton of offers on the table, just not a lot of Power Fives. And I think Vanderbilt, this might be a steal right here. So let's look at his highlights. I know you're super excited about this one, Justin. So let's see Errington Truesdell shoot around the field like a rocket here, and just annihilate some dudes.
Well, that's the thing that I like about him. When you're looking at linebackers and those type of things, speed is a really big deal. And just being able to move, being able to run, do those things. And when you look at Arrington's film, that's the first thing that kind of jumps off at you. And then you look at the speed, and then the next thing is he's a heavy hitter, big time, just right off the bat, right there. All right, he is physical. All right, he runs to the football extremely well. Just watching his film, I was shocked that he didn't have other Power Five offers. And there he is, being physical again, getting an offensive lineman off of him, running down the play from behind. And as I told you before we did this video, he's the type player. If we were playing against him during the week and he's playing linebacker on another team, I'm probably not going to sleep a whole lot throughout the week. It's just how good of a player that he is. But the thing that really jumps off is is how fast that he is and his closing speed and the things that he's able to do. All right. And he's also able to play in the box. You see those. He's also to play in outside the box. You show him in coverage, show all those different things, just looking at his, physical attributes and the things that he's got there. He definitely just looks like a guy that could play early for Vanderbilt. And you've known this for a while, but he is one of the guys that I'm most excited about in this class. You look at him, you look at Delphin Castillo; those are the two that really jump off at me when you watch their film of how good they are.
Yeah, you mentioned Truesdell, just kind of like your a five-tool player at linebacker, can play in the box, outside, can drop back in coverage. He's got that kind of speed, so really, really good potential here to maybe see the field early for him. Uh, look for,
Absolutely.
look forward to seeing how things kind of develop with him when he gets to West End. So
Right,
um,
and that that's something we talked about too earlier. Vanderbilt. One of the things that I've already said this once, but one of the things I think has hurt them is the lack of speed that they've had defensively. And even though a guy may be a little bit smaller, but he's fast, I mean, I think you can get by with that. And especially in today's game where you have so many people that are, running these spread offenses and doing all these things, you don't have to be big defensively.
right.
Of course, somewhat you have to be, but a lot of your defenses now in college football, and it's even trickling down to high school football. They're going smaller because you need more speed on the field, And I just think Truesdell, I think he fits that just perfectly.
Yeah, also he's teammates with another Vanderbilt signee, Alan Wright, and obviously Alan is the brother of current Vanderbilt quarterback Mike Wright. So a lot of connections there with that high school team. Yes, yeah, Taco. if we're going with nicknames here, yes, Taco. Miles,
Keeks, Taco.
yeah, Taco Tuesdays and everything. Yeah, I eat tacos every day, not just Tuesdays. So uh, I had a little trouble with just pulling up Miles Caper's individual profile. So here's a profile included into his commitment story. But Miles was another a kid that Vanderbilt offered back in the spring, and had been on him for quite a while, but didn't really talk a lot, do a whole lot of interviews. Reached out to him, didn't hear anything back from him. So he kind of kept things under the vest, close to the vest, and under the radar. But a good little early signing day get for Vanderbilt here. Underrated kid, but you look at his size, 6'4", 215 pounds. I think that's the thing that really kind of sticks out to you when you
Right.
first look at him, is his size and the ability to be an outside edge rusher. But um, I chose Vanderbilt over offers. I mean, he had offers from Illinois, Missouri, Mississippi State, West Virginia, and others. Had 57 tackles, 1.5 sacks this past season. But really long, lengthy kid. So yeah, can do a lot of damage on the outside edge here. And we'll pull up his film, and Justin, let me know what you like about him. Miles Capers, here you go.
Well, the one thing is, he's 6'4". He's really rangy. Something he shows in his film is he does a really good job of playing in the open field. You would expect somebody that's that tall and lengthy like that mostly be inside the box, those type things. No, he's making a ton of plays out on the edge, out in space, doing those things, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be used. With Vanderbilt going to the 4-3 or 4-2-5, whatever you want to call it, whatever they do. Is this a guy that's body that's going to gain 30, 40 pounds that could possibly play defensive end, or is he going to be a guy that's kind of a Oren Burks type that's going to be, around 230, 235, and he's going to play outside linebacker? But when you watch him play, like I said, he does a really good job out in space. He's a physical guy, and he definitely has the size. You can see why so many of those schools liked him and why they think he could be a good player at the next level.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Capers, another kind of a versatile linebacker. Errington Truesdell, versatile linebacker that can kind of, drop back in the coverage. And Mincey's kind of more of an inside the box kind of guy. So a good
Absolutely.
a lot of good variety here for Vanderbilt in these three linebacker signings overall.
Yeah, and the one thing is, we don't really know what Clark Lee's defense is going to look like. So
Right.
it's going to be interesting to see how he fits the pieces into the puzzle and kind of what he's looking for and everything else. Like something I'm really excited about for next year as far as Vanderbilt football is where does Donovan Kaufman fit in to Clark Lee's system, because he's the type of guy that does all these different things, a really good football player. How does he fit? So, it'd be interesting to see how, these linebackers, what he does with those and kind of what his scheme looks like.
Right. So there you have it. Flip this back here. And there we are. We're back on the screen. Look at Justin with that $1 million smile.
That's right, man. Smiling. Just happy to be
All right, VandySports.com. That is our linebacker 2021 signing class review of the linebackers. So stay tuned to VandySports.com for all your football, basketball, baseball, and recruiting information. And always, reminder, like I said at the beginning, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be continuing this series. And we're going to be doing a lot of other fun stuff with video on our YouTube channel going forward. So we appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.